Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 38, verses 14 through 28. Now, after Jeremiah has been rescued from starving to death in the muck of a deep water silo, otherwise known as a cistern, and he's placed under arrest at the army barracks, Zedekiah once again wants to have a private audience with them. And he basically says, don't tell anyone we're talking. And do you have a word from me from the Lord? And Jeremiah says, why? Won't you kill me if I give you a word you don't want to hear? And if I do give you a word, you certainly are not even going to heed that word. You won't listen. And Jeremiah is being direct with the king. And what he is giving to the king is a voice of dissent. I mean, it is a voice from the Lord, but it is a voice of dissent. And the king really is in a position where he needs to make a decisive decision, and he can't. And so Jeremiah says to him, speaks about possibility and warning. If you will surrender, then your family will be spared, you will be spared and live, and the city will not be razed to the ground. It will not be destroyed. But if you will not surrender to the Babylonians, and if you will not surrender to God, then yes, your family will be carted off, you will die, or you will be harmed, and the city will be burned to the ground. And King Zedekiah, in this whole passage, sort of gives us another insight into the various political factions that he's trying to weave between, without upsetting the apple cart. He says, I'm afraid of the Jewish traders, that they'll mistreat me. Now understand that those folks who have gone over to the Babylonians, they didn't go over because of a theological reason. They went over because of an opportunity. And these are opportunists. And Jeremiah says, no, the Babylonians, they'll treat you well, and they will not hand you over. You need to obey the Lord. But he said, the Lord revealed to me that if you will not obey, that your women folk are going to taunt you and say that you were misled by your princes, by your officials. And really there is a sense of this sentence in which these women folk will have been, that they're abused by the Babylonians. Now, Zedekiah says, don't tell anyone about our conversation. If anyone asks you, tell them you just came to beg that you wouldn't go back to Jonathan's palace because he was going to kill you. And so Jeremiah says, okay, I'll do that. And sure enough, these officials who are hostile to the king and distrust him and who hate Jeremiah, they go and interrogate him. And he gives the line that the king gave him. The thing to understand is that Jeremiah is not preoccupied with statecraft. He's not interested in public policy. He is speaking about the will and the purpose of the Lord. And what he is speaking throughout these chapters, if you will die, if you want to live, you need to die. If you want life, there needs to be a death. If you want well-being and security, you need to surrender. And we hate this message. We hate this word, but it is exactly the word of Jesus Christ, who says that if anyone would find their life, they must pick up their cross and follow me. And I want to ask you, what do you need to kill in your life so that new life can come alive in you? And maybe another question is asked is, what needs to be killed in our churches so that new life can arise among us? Thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.